and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like you to start seated on the floor, legs crossed, and I want you to take a nice, big, deep inhale. And another one. Wonderful. Now just roll back your shoulders, roll them back. We're stabilizing and mobilizing the shoulders. Just imagine your shoulder blades going down into little back pockets. Roll them down. There we go. Nice. I'd like you to be seated nice and tall and just imagine a gold thread coming up out of your head and pulling you nice and tall. And we'll do that again on the mat, and it'll be pulling you to the back of the room. I just want you to place your hands on your tummy now, and I want you to engage your deep core muscles. These are your transverse abdominal muscles. And so throughout our exercises, we'll be engaging our core muscles to about 20 to 30%. So if you take a moment to really engage them, really feel those deep core muscles, tighten those deep core muscles. It's not a breath, it's not a suck in, it's the muscles that you're really engaging. And then just relax them to that 20 to 30% so they are engaged but not tight the whole time. And similarly with our pelvic floor, we're going to lift our pelvic floor and just imagine that pelvic floor coming up, just like a lift inside your body, and then relax to about 20 to 30%. So your pelvic floor is engaged throughout the exercises, protecting those pelvic organs, really essential for both men and women, but not tight, not holding it tight throughout. Okay, lovely. We're going to do a few exercises today, and they're really going to work on our core and our bottom. So I'd like you to start by going into shoulder bridge. So lying supine, lying on your back, feet flat on the ground. And once again, just imagine that gold thread coming up out of the back of your head and pulling you tall, pulling you really nice and tall. I'd like you to just place your hands on your pelvis, but create a little triangle like this, and then just tilt your pelvis back and forward. Imagine a bowl of water sloshing around in there. In the middle of your triangle, there's a marble, and slowly we're just going to bring that marble to a still point, or bring that bowl of water to a stillness. And this is creating your neutral spine. You'll see there's a gap here. That's good. Your neutral spine has a little bit of a gap. This is flat back. So if you have nothing here, that's flat back. That's not how you should be doing these exercises. It's neutral spine. So you can fit a little letter under your back. And so your feet should be hip width apart. Your knees should be hip width apart. Shoulders up and down and round. And we're going to take a deep inhale here. And out through the mouth. With our deep inhale, I'd like you to imagine your rib cage opening up like an umbrella and coming back down again. One more. And out again. This time I'm going to inhale, and on the exhale, we're just going to tilt the pelvis, nothing else. Inhale. Exhale, just tilt that pelvis up. Just so it's not off the floor, just to tilt the pelvis and back down again. And that's how we're going to go into our bridge, which we're going to do now. So inhale. On the exhale, tilt the pelvis first and then continue vertebrae by vertebrae, a slow and controlled movement into that shoulder bridge. Your hips should be nice and steady and nice and still at the top. We're going to inhale here. On the exhale, we're going to go down, slowly controlled, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pelvis last. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis first, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, we're going to come up to the top. I'm going to do a couple more just at this level, and then we will have optional progressions. But continue with your own breath. Breath is really important here, which I can't do as well when I'm talking, but please do it at home because it's really important. And creating that diagonal line down your body is really important. And back down again, control, focus. It's a slow and controlled movement. This time at the top, we're going to lift a heel off the ground. It's an optional progression. One heel lifts and back down again, and the other heel lifts. And I'm going to alternate a couple of times as I hold this bridge, but the hips should remain high and steady.
and you're just lifting the heel off the ground. And when you do so, you should be able to feel it in your bottom. Now, if you can't, it might just be because you have a very, very strong bottom, but this is a very nice workout for your bottom. It's fantastic for your hamstrings as well, for repairing and recovering and creating strong muscles around this area that support your stability and support your tendons and everything you use to work out. So slow and controlled optional progression. If you don't want to do this, you can just continue with the going down and going up. So we're going to take an inhale here, come back down again. We're going to have a different type of progression this time at the top. So again, if you are a beginner, please just stay. Come to the top and then you go back down if you're a beginner. Take an inhale, and on exhale, we're going to hinge from the hip and bring one leg into tabletop. So I'm hinging from the hip, not the knee. The knee shouldn't actually change the flex. So this is flexing the hip, hinging from the hip, and we're going to alternate. And this puts a nice amount of workout on your glute. I'm going to go again for the other one. So this is an optional progression. This is quite difficult. So please do, just going into shoulder bridge up and down is incredibly effective. Really great for your core strength, great for your glutes, and great for your hamstring. Keep going, engaging the core to that 20 to 30% throughout, engaging the pelvic floor. So pulling that pelvic floor to 20 to 30% throughout. And another one. And after this one, I'm going to go back down again. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Pelvis tilt last. Deep inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis first, vertebrae by vertebrae. And this time, we're just going to lift the leg out, keeping the thigh parallel, in line with the other thigh. Just going to lift that out, place it back down again, lift the other one out. So we're doing lots of variations of this shoulder bridge because the shoulder bridge is so powerful in helping your body, helping it heal, helping it recover, and helping it strengthen. It's a really good one for strengthening. And it's important when you're doing this that you're not harming your neck here and your spine. So you should be, you see my neck is actually flat, so I'm not coming up too high. Although I've just dropped my hips there, I should have kept my hips up. So I need to focus, I need to concentrate. I hope you're concentrating. Just one more each side, and then we're going to come down again. Now this is a good workout. You'll see that some people lift their leg quite high, but this I think takes quite a lot of control. And so we're going to come back down again. You'll see my hips are dropped then, so that was naughty of me. We're going to do a different progression this time. So inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis, vertebrae by vertebrae, come up. We're going to use our arms here. So inhale, exhale, bring them over. Inhale, back down again. And I'm going to hold this bridge and continue with those arm movements. One more. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming down, pelvis being last. Good job, well done. And we're just going to do a full body stretch as our release stretch. That was really good, well done. That was a tough one. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is come back into lying supine. And we're going to do a single leg stretch. So your knees are hip width apart, your feet are hip width apart. Lying flat, shoulders stabilize nice and down. Neutral spine, find your neutral spine again if you need to. Head tall, so pull that golden thread to the back of the room. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, float one leg into tabletop. And so you should have a nice 90-degree angle here, a 90-degree angle here, and imagine a champagne glass on top of your shin. Inhale and then imprint. So think ribs to hips as you imprint to bring the second leg into tabletop. The imprinting helps stabilize your core and your back and protects your back. You should be engaging that core to 20 to 30%, engaging that pelvic floor to 20 to 30%. And your knees should both be in this tabletop position. Okay, inhale. You may stay at this level if you'd like to, but if you'd like a progression, we're going to inhale. Exhale, raise your head and shoulders, and we're going to take one leg at a time, and we're just going to stretch it out ahead of us. And then it comes back, and we stretch it out, and then it comes back. So I'd like you to imagine a light switch on the far wall, and you're just trying to flick off that light switch with your toe. So it's a slow and controlled movement, and you're just struggling to reach it, but you reach it, you stretch it. So you'll see my feet are in plantar flexing. So that's pointy toes or good toes. And so you're using that toe just to flick off the switch at the far end of the room. It's a Saturday night, you're lying on the sofa, ready to watch Netflix, but the light's on, you can't be bothered to get off the sofa, so you just use your toe to flick it off. Okay, lovely. So it's a slow and controlled movement, and this really works on the core. If at any stage this is uncomfortable, I'd like you to bring back down your head and shoulders, and you can do the single leg stretch one leg at a time. You can have one on the ground, one foot on the ground, and just be doing one leg and alternate. Deep breaths. Engaging that core to 20 to 30%, engaging that pelvic floor. One more on each side. Okay, I'd like to bring your head and shoulders down first, and then float one leg at a time to the floor. Good job. And if you'd like to do the full body stretch again, just because I love it so much, it's really lovely to do that full body stretch. Lovely release. Okay, I'd like you to come onto your side, and we're going to do our side kick because it's really good for the glutes and your core. So this arm, underneath arm out in front of you, palm facing down, head resting, and just look down through your body and check that you are nicely stacked. So hips stacked, knees stacked, feet stacked, and you're engaging your core. So if I let my core go, then I'm flat on the mat, but I'm engaging my core, and then that creates a little letter. You can slide a letter underneath, or a little mouse hole. So I'm just going to imagine a little tea-light candle under my waist throughout this exercise to keep that core engaged throughout and that pelvic floor engaged 20 to 30%. This top arm is your support arm. It comes out in front. Do use a block if that would be helpful. And we're going to inhale here, and on our exhale we're just going to lift that top leg. That's all we're doing, and then float it back down again. Good job. Another one of these. Now, if this is your first time doing this exercise, you'll find that just being in this position and holding your core like this is enough of a workout. So you may just want to stay at this level. I'm just going to shift slightly because I can feel the chair over there. So do continue with your own breath. And now if you'd like to progress with me, we're going to inhale, lift on the exhale, sweep the leg in front of you, plantar flexing, and then dorsiflexing home, and leg back down again. So up we come, sweep it out ahead, flex the foot home. So when we flex that foot, just imagine your toes go towards the shins and bring it home. You might feel a little bit of tension in your heel when you go into dorsiflexing, so that's toes towards the shin. If you do, this exercise is actually very good to release those tendons, but it shouldn't be painful, it shouldn't hurt. And if it is, if you're really feeling a proper discomfort there, then you want to reduce your range of motion. So don't flex the foot so much and don't bring the foot so far ahead of you. You might want to return to just lifting above the leg and dropping it, floating it down again, rather than moving it at all in front of you. But if you're just feeling like a little tightness, then this is a great exercise just to release some of that tightness. So I'm going to do a few more. Just stay with me if you can. And some of you may be able to feel this workout in your glute here, which is fantastic if you can. And if you can't, then you might want to consider increasing your range of motion. You might want to just check that you are engaging your core and engaging your pelvic floor. And you might want to slow down the motion. It's a slow and controlled motion. But if you don't feel anything from this, well, you might feel it tomorrow, but if you don't feel anything from it, it might be because you have a really strong tushie. You might have lots of muscle already in your glutes, so this might be very manageable. But a lot of you will be able just to feel a little bit of a workout in your glute by now. Fantastic if you are. And you might not be able to feel the workout in your core, but by holding your core and holding your body in this position, you really are working on that core strength. Just going to do 2 more after this one. 1 more after this one. Engage that core, don't let it drop. There we go, good job. Okay, and just bring your knees to the chest, just to release that. You might want to just pat it out a bit as well, good job. So we're going to come onto our fronts now. And I promised you this would be a glute workout, work on that peach. So we are going to do that here. So I'd like you to just check that your knees are under your hips and your knees are hip width apart. Your hands and wrists should be below your shoulders. So you're on all fours. And your head is facing down. And what I'd like you to do is simply lift one leg, initially just so it's aligned, so that you've got a straightness there, and you should have a 90-degree angle behind. And we're going to do some pulses here. So engage your core, think about your breathing, head down, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Keep going, keep going. So I'd like you to be doing your deep lateral thoracic breathing. Don't worry about counting, I can count. And we're just doing some pulsing here. Engage that core, engage that pelvic floor. Last 10. Okay, good job. And then we're going to switch to the other side, so bring it up, take a deep inhale, and then start pulsing. Keep breathing. Little pulses, it's not a big motion. Engage that core, engage that pelvic floor. Deep breath, and last 10. Great job. So bring it back down again. And now I'd like you to come onto your onto your elbows and forearms. And so your elbows should be below your shoulders, palms flat on the ground. And what I'd like you to do now, you might want to bring your knees slightly closer together. We're going to take the first leg and we're going to cross the knee over, under. So I'm behind the kneecap there. I'm going to cross it over and then I'm going to take it out. And you'll see my foot is in dorsiflexing. So that's toes towards the shins. So this is plantar, this is good top toes, this is dorsey. So we're going to go kick it out. So you see, slow and controlled movement. So I'm crossing over, so I'm coming in and then I'm pushing out and keeping that heel is really taking me out. So eyes down, engage that core. And this is a really good one for your glutes, but also you can feel it in the side of the glute, which is great. Slow and controlled movement. Keep the breathing. Last 3. Okay, good job. So knee back on the mat, and then we're going to switch. So you can see I'm bringing that knee inside the back of the kneecap, dorsiflexing the foot, and that heel is really leading me out. Engage the core, eyes down, engage the pelvic floor, and let's have some deep lateral thoracic breathing, which means really breathing into that rib cage. Lovely. Okay, and then place it back down again. And the release stretch here is child's pose. So toes together, knees apart, chest between the knees, arms forward as far forward as you can stretch them, head down on the mat. And then just breathe into that for a moment. Lovely. So now we're going to come on to do our side kick on the other side. So lying down, palm flat on the floor, look down your body to check that you are stacked. Supporting hand in front of you, use a block if you'd like to. Inhale here, exhale, lift the leg, and down again. Engage the core, engage the pelvic floor. So if you're at beginner level, you'll be staying at this level throughout. Optional progression now, raise and sweep in front of you, dorsiflexi home. So that's plantar flexi out and dorsiflexi home. Plantar flexi out, dorsiflexi home. Pointy toes out, naughty toes home. Engage the core. And feeling a little tightness is okay, and this then releases that little tightness. But when I say tightness, I mean tightness in the heel or foot. But it should not be painful. If it is painful at all, then please stop. Or if it's just too uncomfortable, then that's an indication you should be reducing your range of motion and going back down a layer. Much better off going slowly and then moving forward, advancing, progressing, rather than taking on too much and causing an injury that will set you back. I've also been going a little bit fast. I'm just going to slow it down. My apologies. Probably saw that, probably caught that. Deep breathing here, deep breathing. Who can feel it? Can you feel it in your glutes? Can you feel it in your hamstrings? All the way down the leg maybe? Fantastic one for toning the legs and the core, because we are really engaging that core. Okay, last one. Bring it home. Bring your knees towards you and hug it out. And you might want to just pat out some tension as well. Good job. Good job. So we're going to come back onto our backs. And here we're going to go into the double leg stretch. So take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, just roll those shoulders down so they're nice and stabilized. Imagine that gold thread pulling you to the back of the room, and just make sure you're in neutral spine. Bring it to a nice standstill. Inhale. On your exhale, we're going to float the first leg into tabletop. So you should have 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle here, and imagine your champagne glass on top. Inhale, imprint, think ribs to hips, and float the second leg into tabletop, really engaging that core so you're stabilizing the back and protecting the back. Okay, from here, I'd like you to raise your arms above your head. Your palms are facing each other. Take a deep inhale. And then I'd like you, on your exhale, just to start to draw very slowly small circles with your hands. So I'd like your eyes to be on the ceiling, and I'd just like you to imagine little saucers, and you're drawing little saucers with your hands in a slow and controlled way. And we're going to do a few more in this direction. I'd like you to engage your core to that 20 to 30%, engage your pelvic floor. And now I'd like you to change the direction of your arms. And as we do this, we're just going to start drawing, move from little saucers to side plates. Continue. Now you may stay at this level, but if you'd like to progress, I'd like you to extend one leg at a time out in front of you. And then we can advance our hand motion, our arm motion. We're going to go into dinner plates here. Nice big dinner plates. This is great for circulation, great for mobilizing the shoulders, and of course great for your core strength. Really good job. Keep going. Really good job. And we're just going to exchange the direction, and we're going to be really big serving plates now. Imagine you're at a wonderful party and they have canapes on lovely serving plates, and they're coming round with these yummy canapes, and you're saying, look at those beautiful big plates. Nice big plates. You can exchange the direction when you're ready. Keep the core engaged to the 20 to 30%. Keep that pelvic floor engaged. Protects your pelvic organs, looks after them. Both men and women need that into their old age. Not old age, but old age. Okay, and now I'd like to slow with the arm movements. And if your legs are extended, one at a time, bring them back into tabletop. Gently float your arms down, and one leg at a time, float it to the ground. And if you'd like a stretch here, it's a full body stretch. My favorite. Good job. Okay, I'd like you to come into a seated position now. Actually, we'll do one more here. So come to a seated position, but still facing the wall or the window. And we're going to do the roll up, and then we'll go on to our spine twist. Sit nice and tall. Imagine that gold thread pulling you tall, feet flat on the ground. Take an inhale, and your exhale, I'd just like you to curve the spine, nothing more than that. So you're creating a C shape with your spine. And then back up again, nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, curve the spine, and we're going to come a little bit further. Pause, and
back up again, nice and tall. And again. Exhale, curve the spine first, and then coming a little bit further, and then back up again. With your own breath and your own level of comfort with how far you come. When you're ready, or if you wish to, you can come all the way down to the floor, arms by the side, and slowly back up again into that tall seated position. And this time, if you are coming down to the floor, if you'd like to bring your arms overhead, you may. I don't know about you, but it's getting nice and warm in here with all these candles on. I was chilly earlier, not anymore. Had a nice warm up. Continue with your own breath. And we're going to do one more. And up again. Good job, well done. Now I'd like you to come into a seated position, cross-legged if you'd like. If you're not comfortable, then please do put your feet out ahead of you or feet flat, however you're comfortable, but I'm going to be in cross-legged position. I'd like you to bring your hands together like this. I'd like you to place your thumbs on your collarbone and your middle finger under your chin. Take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to move to the side. Inhale. Exhale, return to center. Continue with your own breath. So you inhale. Exhale for the movement. Continue with your own breath. It's a slow and controlled movement. Engage your core. Engage your pelvic floor. If you'd like to come onto Cossack with your arms, I've just crossed them over like this, and you may. And then we keep them in front of us. If you'd like to shut your eyes for this one, then please do, because it's quite a nice relaxing one with nice deep breathing here. So you sit nice and tall. This is great mobilization for the spine. And if you'd like to progress further with the arms, optional is to imagine a huge beach ball in your arms. And you just hold this beach ball out ahead of you. So you're sitting nice and tall, your head is held high, your core is engaged, and you're doing deep lateral thoracic breathing. Float your hands to your side. Well done on your spine twist. So that's it for our exercises, and we're going to go on to our closing phase. So to start with, I'd like you to go into the mermaid position. So just have your sitting bottom on the ground, but your feet against here. And we're going to place this arm down here, and then as we do, sweep over the top. So my elbow is under my shoulder, sweeping over, and take a nice inhale here. Sweep over into the other side. Nice inhale here. And sweep over. Lovely motion here. So in the mermaid position. And back up we go. Well done. I'd like you to just come onto your back again, just to stretch out those hamstrings, because we did some really nice hamstring work. So the first thing I'd like you to do is put your opposite ankle over the the lower thigh, just above your knee. I'd like you to clasp your leg behind the thigh, and then with the opposite elbow, you're pushing the opposite thigh away. And this is a really, really great one for your glutes, for your hamstrings as well, but I always feel this in my glute. And it releases the sciatic nerve or any tension around the sciatic nerve. So it really does help relax. If you ever have any pain in your bottom, and I often say runners will often have pain in their bottom, it's because there's tension around your sciatic nerve, and this is the exercise that releases that. So if you're doing Pilates for nothing else but to release that tension in your bottom, this is a fantastic one. Take an inhale, and your exhale, just draw that leg slightly closer to you so you're really feeling that stretch, making this a developmental stretch. Okay, and then switch over. So you're pulling that thigh towards you and then pushing the opposite one away with your elbow. Deep inhale. On the exhale, you just pull your thigh a little bit more towards you to make it a developmental stretch. We're almost done. I just want to release our hamstrings as well. So let's do that now. So I'd like you to place one leg on the ground, and the other leg I'd like you to have straight ahead of you. So try and straighten that up. You will see that I'm not particularly flexible. I'm just not, wasn't born flexible. Haven't maintained it enough clearly. But this isn't about flexibility. This is about releasing your hamstring. So try to have your legs straight and then hold it just, you can hold it behind the shin, so you can hold your calf muscle, or you can hold it by the hamstring, so the back of the thigh. Please don't hold it behind the knee, okay? So here or here. And you can have your leg up like this, or if you can't, if you're able to, if you're very flexible and you want it further to get more of a stretch, this is really up to you. You should feel the stretch, so go to your own limits. So it shouldn't be painful. It's okay you want to feel that stretch, and it can feel slightly uncomfortable because you are giving it that nice stretch, but that shouldn't be painful. Deep breathing here, please. Wonderful. And we're just going to go on to the other. So you can hold it here if you like, or you can hold it here. We're almost done. You've done such a great job. So thank you. Thank you for staying with us. And I'd love to hear what you would like to see. I'd love to take requests. So if you want to work on a particular part of the body, or if you have pain that you're looking to heal from, any injury you're looking to recover from, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you have any condition that you want help with, won't necessarily know the answers, but I will study it and find out the answers and then be back with you. Wonderful, thank you. Just bring your knees to your chest and just close with a little roll of the spine, because that feels lovely. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Always wonderful to have you with us, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day or evening, whatever you're up to, and wishing you all well. Bye now.